Already logged in, right? Okay.
Yeah, what's good, everyone? What's going on, YouTube? I got Rickey on today. Kind of just watching it here. We got equities open in like 8 minutes, 7-8 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. No camera this morning.
Okay. Yep, London daily. There should be there should be something for sure. So we'll find something, but especially when you have like this, I would say here, these look like a target for sure. So, and then on NQ it looks even better. So it's just, will they flush the lows first? Will they hold the demand? We'll find out. So.
If it was me, that's what I would want. Run the lows, keep those clean highs up there around 860 for NQ, and use that as an upside for later. Ideally.
Yeah, I like to play what people can see 5 minutes out. I call this the pre-snap read. And so if everybody in the world, I trade with people across seas, so they see, obviously the same thing we see on the chart. And so if everyone can see it starting to sell off and into the demand, right here, what they do is they sell into that, right, trying to force that low, and then they get reversed. So these are the players I actually live for. Especially in New York pop. Now they could do it two different ways, and they could slip and diverge. Like they could take the lows on ES, or they could hold them both. But a lot of the times, like when I focus on the focus candle I like, which is the 5-minute demand plays with capitulation balance, is going to be that candle there on ES, and then this candle on the 5-minute here. So same situation as yesterday. Influencers, people sold into the demand, and then it rallies. Looks pretty similar. And then here's the whole thing, right? If you're buying, concepts of trading or buy low, sell high. If you're buying low, you want to be selling high above the daily, right? So what that means is you want to be giving back above daily. So if you have a question on where you should get out right now and you took a trade, there's not really a question. It's either a structure break or you're getting out above daily. All right, so I'm gonna be patient, kind of just lock in here, and then that's kind of my bias. So right now it's just to play that 5-minute area here on NQ. I play NQ more than anything. I just know some of the guys I trade with trade ES, so we mark them up at the same time and take executions. So real quick, I do want to just kind of show this for the small time frame players. It does look good here on this 1 minute pre-New York. All right, so if you kind of just scroll in here, so So it does look good. You've got the push away from the move, you've got a demand candle set, and you've got 19.8 holding pretty well. But I don't trust that before New York opens. So what I'll do is I'll just wait for that 5-minute flare. Okay, and then what I like to do is I like to turn on what I call a rich retail, and I like to watch things like Top Step. And I don't watch them to take the trades with them. Just put that like that. But that is kind of already building up, guys. But we'll be patient here. I'll at least wait for open.
Yeah, I mean, if we open and we get an initial run higher and we end up taking the 860s for NQ, I probably would have no interest in taking any trades today, or at least in the AM.
I really truly believe it's going to come down to this, excuse me, this 5-minute price action, because they have set candles on these certain areas. So like if I get, there's certain things I look for here in the first 3 minutes of this open, but if I get a certain thing where I start seeing signs of strength on ES on the 5 on both of them, and that candle that you see right here, so it'd be the candle of 820 to 825. If price goes above that candle in the 5-minute, any retraces back, I'm attacking. So if we get any kind of push above that on the pullbacks into it, I'm attacking to go back to this supply candle here, 19,940s. But we'll see. We'll see. Make sure I got my accounts loaded here. Now,
Yeah.
oh, my bad. Good.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. There's a few things I have to do this morning anyway that are gonna take me from the charts. So it's kind of like, well, you got stuff to do. You know, if you don't get something super clean, to me, it's an easy walk away. So
yeah, we'll find something.
Yeah, but go ahead.
We'll see what we can do. All right, so we got 2 minutes out. Like I said, I kind of focus up usually right before this. I don't really try to like talk too much, but then once we start actually moving here at the open, I'll start kind of like painting what I'm seeing. So good thing we didn't take a pre-New York trade. Now, the other thing I've noticed about NQ and ES is as price comes into an LOD, right, that has a demand candle with it, right, what happens a lot of times is people, right, like rich retail, they make a decision bad inside this area. They start to sell this down. So if I'm able to read that here in a minute, that's what we're basically waiting on inside this 5-minute demand. And then I'll be able to see possibly that mitigation start to form to attack a target, which is pretty cool. We have a pretty good target there.
Yeah, 56.82.5 for ES, I think is those lows. And then the lows I mentioned on the stream yesterday, which were right near yesterday's equities open. So 56.75 and a quarter, some lows. So if we extend beyond 682, there's a good chance we could extend lower for 56.75. So I have alerts at both of those levels for ES. So since I'm on OBS and I'm sharing my computer screen, y'all are probably going to hear my own alerts. So just double check your own trading view if you guys end up hearing that. But equity's open here in a couple seconds. So Ricky, I'll let you take over.
No, I got you. We're just waiting on this excuse me, this 5-minute area. I'll let you guys know if I'm going to enter. So I love capitulation down when they capitulate down into the demand. So I'm really watching that 1 minute on another window. And I'm looking for those, excuse me, those NCEs. So I'm looking for maybe to shift up if it's going to go up. If it's not, then I'm not going to force it. We'll let them, I like to see them swipe those LODs, and then I'll look for the mitigation under old lows. So. So we got ES kind of moving into that demand, probably tricking traders. So let's just be patient.
Yeah. I remember that about not selling owls. It's not reading those. That's what I think. 10-year below 4.2. The move's happening now. Let's see what the volume does.
I like how that 1 minute's starting to pull. Let's see here. Not really seeing the 5-minute strength though on ES, so I'd like to see that strength on ES a little bit too, and that wicking away.
Selling 4 hours gold, what happened there? Oh. Okay, 75.
Not seeing no strength on the 5 minutes. So I like to see the first 5-minute close a lot of the time just to see what we're looking at, but they're not pushing that objective low yet, so that's a good sign that they could come back for that liquidity above us, 19,800 or 19,850, sorry. Not seeing the objective low on ES is a good sign. Now the 1 minute's pushing up with 11 seconds. Now if it NCEs, I'll probably buy this and put my stop at the 1 minute low. So I'm gonna buy that and put my stop at the 1 minute low, guys. And then my target is just those 19,860s. So just to show you guys, I actually am in this trade. I actually am in this trade on 4 accounts. All right. And our goal is the target. We see it, baby. So I don't like to look at P&L, but that's our target for today, guys. We're about 2 minutes into the session, and we're probably about to smack TP. Let's see if we can get it. Come on, let's get excited. Don't get too excited yet. So if that 5 minute crosses that high, guys, that's it for me for today. I'll be done for, I got 20 micros to the upside right now. So that's pretty good for the day.
945, Tony, or 845?
Let's see if he's gonna get there. Let's see. Nice push, nice volume on ES, right? They tripped people at the bottom low end of the range. Looks like we're going to deliver our TP here.
We're holding this line.
So
hold the line. If we start to break through this, then I mean.
All right, guys. Bang. TP
Yeah,
on
there's
if you took the NQ trade, you're out of there.
yeah, I was just saying there's your 860s. That was my alert that went off, if you guys heard that.
So still holding these guys on 5 contracts, right? To the upside, don't give back until daily open. All right. So I got this across 4 accounts. We're looking at like 4 or 3 Gs, 3,500 right now on this account. All right. So I'm pulling 2 of those contracts and letting the rest run. That's like my typical what I do. So out of the 5 across, or out of the 20, I pull 1 basically inside that liquidity like that. Did we get back above daily? Has ES made it yet? I don't think so. So we're still pushing, baby.
You know what's interesting about that is if you look at regular trading hours, NQ opened and then took 1 p.m.'s low yesterday, and ES did not.
Really quick, if you guys study ES, US 30, we're inside that demand as well. So if you guys shorted with me overnight, guys, this is where you're wanting to be getting out, okay? And then we're going to see here where we're at. Sorry, still watching price. No 5-minute sign of weakness yet, right? So we've got after the breakout area, right, of the structure here, we haven't really got any weakness on a 5 yet, okay? So that's what I'm pretty much waiting on. Now, how I do trade management, guys, when I get a 5-minute breakout, I wait for this candle. And if I get one more 5-minute candle, I have a top in imbalance. Now I just trail my risk on the remaining 3 contracts if it closes higher. So I'm still waiting on. We took the liquidity. Now can we reach the 19,900 whole level, right? And if we can do that while ES, right, is lagging, let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it looks like a lack of wick on the way lower too. Reddit, like just a point or two above that 19,900 level you had. welcome Beast to the SMS membership.
Facts.
Make sure to join us in the Discord. Discord user settings, connections, find YouTube, and then sign into your account there. And then you'll see the Discord to join.
So I'm still watching this here really quick. ES still kind of pushing, right, guys? 15-minute structure. We want to see those technicals, low end of range players get blasted, okay? Now, how I like to measure up the move is like this. You have a HOD and you have to an LOD, right? So you're looking at a range of the day, all right? So like this. And so I like to give my positions back when they take the low end range players. And then I like to definitely be protected at a 50% range of the day, okay? So we're starting to push up. So I'm still doing pretty good on this trade, right? And we're waiting. Now you've got 5-minute close. Now you've got top end imbalance on ES. So if you're fat, like if you got 5 contracts minis right now, like a couple guys in the chat that have 3 contracts minis, you could trail one of those minis up to this 5-minute low and waiting for this this price. Oh, push. Don't get excited, execute, baby. As soon as you guys hear excitement in my voice, just start executing.
Dude, if y'all could only imagine the things I've done and said over the years.
Yeah. All right, I think I'm gonna be cool on.
Shorts look good right here.
Shorts look good right here. It's what TS just said. Oh
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
guys,
we-
wait for the blast.
Yeah, we heard that. We have it like it's on in the background a little bit. We definitely heard it.
Okay, it's like, dude, did you guys hear that? That trend? They might be in. They might be in. They might be winning. That 19880, you gotta be careful though. That is an 880 level on NQ. And so let's see.
We are near halfway of the gap as well. If you guys look at regular trading hours, 19,878 is right around halfway of the gap too. So just be mindful.
So guys, watch this 5-minute candle above the old structure. And if you don't get any weakness on a 5-minute, you're running, baby. Supply candles here, give back above daily, right? If we get now, here's the thing: if you get the structure break on 5-minute on ES, like you have on NQ, that's when you're really probably pretty much up a bag off the 5-minute area, because the way we trade it is we use that 5-minute LOD and we use 50% of that candle. So our risk would have been 5-6, whatever that low is, 5-6 82s, right? So you have about a maybe 5-point risk is what we average to get to, a 20-point gain, which is, 5 for 20 is over a 1 to 4, or excuse me, 1 to 5, right? Yeah, 1 to 5. So you guys got me so excited. So I just decided to wait for this 5-minute today. But I'm going to place a little bit more on here if it keeps lagging. All right, so we're still watching this first 5 minutes. I like to play the first 15 minutes of an hour and the last. So like a lot of the times traders make the worst decisions in those time frames. We're pumping still, right? So I'm waiting on this 5-minute close, guys. We've got about 40 seconds. You want to see ES start to find that strength, right? Because it's created the higher low, right, inside that 15 5-minute demand. So you want to see these low end of the range traders get blasted. All right, guys. So we're still holding that across the board. I just want to kind of show how it looks before I trail the wrist so you guys can understand what I'm saying on the 1 minute, okay? So how this works is you have a 1 minute you have a 5-minute top end imbalance, and then you have a down candle in an uptrending market. I'm trailing all my risk to 19,852, and then we're copying this across 4 accounts, so we're floating about almost 4 bands right now, dude. It's pretty crazy in just 9 minutes. I was running. All right, so that wrist just got moved, guys, so you guys understand what I'm doing there. Excuse me. Wasn't even going to trade today, John. You got me out of book. Come on, bro. So I'm going to buy to the upside, so.
Not financial advice.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm not a financial advisor. Ricky isn't either. Trade at your own risk.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Now, just really quick, I do want to show this because whatever happens, right? But it's still a secure day as long as I've trailed that risk to top end of the imbalance. So if the market comes and takes me out, swoops that trailing, what I'm thinking essentially is buyers have trailing risk. This is a demand breakout. And if they go below that level, they could still go higher, right? But if they don't ever go below this level in this 5 minute, and we've already broken out and took liquidity, I should be able to get to supply potentially before going lower. Right. And so I don't want to lose out on the whole move. Right. I've got a good amount. So I have a certain trade management that I do to secure me. So like if it comes down, takes that, you know, from 800, or let's just say from 800 to 52s, that's a little bit over 60 some points across 4 accounts. It's not bad. But what's going to be really cool is that if they hold this area and then we go back to ES here, right? And I want to see ES continue to climb. So okay, so let's see if they do it or not. Number in 20 minutes, guys. We have news in 20 minutes. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the market gives me about 50 to 60, and gratefully, right, 70 points. I'm all game for it. You know what I mean? Now, look how they're starting to manipulate people probably on that 1 minute time frame right now, but they're just not looking at the supply demand and how to play edge, right? So I think we're looking good. You got ES starting to find strength. Should I bring up QQ SPY, John? What you showed me on that, or should I save that for another session?
I mean, if you'd like.
Okay, so
If you
really
want
quick,
to.
so I got you. So you got ES there on the right, or excuse me, on the left, and then we'll look at SPY just to kind of have an idea here of like the overall. Here, let me see. So it's kind of hard to see. You have to really kind of know what you're looking at, but I like to use the line graph to kind of help me see this sometimes and see what the overall price is. But they're pumping here, right, for their New York. Look at ES, same time. So for me, it kind of helps me see like the overall market when they do this. I can show you QQQ too, but let's stick with this for right now. Okay, how's that 5 minute doing, right? Bam. On NQ, because I'm in NQ, I'm not in the ES trade. Now I see, and that's the thing, is I could take the ES trades too, but I don't have the time to do a write-up on multiple charts like that. So we're still holding that trade, right? Our risk is still where it needs to be, right? Let's go, baby. Give back above daily open.
Yeah, there's that 900 level for NQ. That's that level that I was trying to point out that had that lack of wick on it. I mean, at least on your chart.
Yeah. So if you think about the HOD to the LOD, I play back to where every day. Let's see here if my fibs want to load. Where do I play back to? 50% of the day and daily open, and I'm out of there. And every time they give me a down candle in an uptrending market from this point, if I really wanted to squeeze it, like if I was, 40 micros deep, I'd be squeezing the shit out of this.
Yeah, there's your run above ES highs at 712.
Bet. So that at that moment, if they're taking liquidity here, you can expect some retracements here potentially. So you could either, what I do is I don't take myself out of a trade. I just trail my risk based off of a trailing risk factor. But right now I'm still in the right area. And I don't see any weakness below a 5 minute area. So like if I don't see any weakness below here, then we should be fine. But worst case, like I said, you could come in and depending on how many, how much volume you have on the trade, you could be partialing when they're doing this type of stuff like this, trailing risk, whatever your plan provides, right? But you want to be, when people are losing money, you want to be making money.
Facts.
Now they still haven't come for that wick, that 19850 wick area, right? That's what I'm looking for them to do. If they don't, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna hold the 1 minute demand, right here, and they're gonna rally this shit.
It's yeah, I mean, if they take off from here, that looks like it's going to be a 5 minute breakaway, and that would probably signify strength.
There they go. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at US 30s. I know Tay's looking at that. Let me look real quick here. Dow, right in that spot we talked about, because we TP'd shorts from overnight in this same area, right? I'm trying to move this box. I don't know why it's being like that. Okay. So we took shorts overnight, took profit inside demand, and so everything's making sense now, right? So it looks like if you trailed that risk, you're fine, right? Based on those rules, right? So if you wanted to, what you can do, right, is you can actually bring that risk over and trail it to here, right, to that 1 minute down candle. So that's probably what I'm about to do, right? Because as we get closer to capitulation, so I play everything. I can see it upside down, dude. right? As we get closer to daily open, I'm gonna give back. I don't care if it's a buy or a sell. You know, big day today, man. That's crazy. I'm glad you called me to get on, bro. Because I was gonna take the day off.
Nah, no days off here.
No days off, baby.
I'm lying. We took a day off yesterday. Like we didn't stream yesterday, but nah.
I tell you, but we'll chop it up later, bro. We can do this almost every day.
Bro, let me stream. We got 40 something people on here. Let me talk to you guys for a minute. Yo, are you guys having fun? I mean, like, even if you're not trading, even if you're not live, like, it's cool. But are you guys at least having fun watching the markets, you know, seeing price go to levels that we talked about? Now, mind you, I wanted the lows for ES. I mean, I would have rather have seen that. I didn't get that. And that's okay. But we did talk about the 860 levels for NQ, and then we also talked about that 712 level. Ricky had brought that up for ES, and you see how price got there, right? So you can tell that there are opportunities, right? Maybe not every day, but you know, even like half asleep, trying to wipe, you know, our fucking eyes to see the candlesticks, right? Still being able to find the liquidity and trade in that direction. Even as I'm talking to you, NQ still rallying. We're at
Real
the
quick, John, my bad,
920s.
brother.
Go
My
ahead.
bad, bro. As we're getting closer to that daily open, guys, you can be on that 1 minute just squeezing every down candle in the uptrending market because you don't want to like get halfway there and then not get to where you want. But I'm good. Sorry, I was gonna say.
No, you're good. I was just talking to the stream, making sure that people know like we're still both here. I'm letting you run it, but I just want to, you know, talk to them for a second and let them know that we're all here, and want to make sure that people are learning. So Pop
Let
said
them
that
know-
he's
hey.
amazed.
Let them know I'm one of your best students. They need to tap in.
No, you definitely are. You definitely are. Lee Bright's one of my top students. Ricky's one of my top students as well.
So really
And,
quick, guys, I just want to show you guys this. I did trail that risk a little bit up here. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Sorry, I'm trying to hurry. Oops. I did trail that risk up to like condense that down because I don't want to like take any type of loss on that. So basically what I did was 800s up to 880s. I've secured 80 points now times 4 accounts. And we still haven't gotten the target yet, but I for sure have a good day, right? So it's like as that market gives, you got to take.
no, I agree. I'm actually, I was going to ask you that. I mean, because I don't want to interrupt your trading and trade management. I was going to ask you that after the stream so instead of taking partials, you would rather push the stop higher to like to lock in like a trailing stop almost.
Yeah, because when I manually do it, what happens is I take myself out of the expected value, like price being higher. So I let the market take me out, and that makes me feel a lot better because the less times I press the button, the more time, you know what I mean? The more times I press that button, the more susceptible I am to risk. So if I can take my hand away from having to press that button more and more, then it's just a game of almost like chess. They move, I move, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I've never really thought of it like that. That's a interesting viewpoint, because I've always been like, oh, new high, I'm a partial and then move, you know, because
Bro,
like
I used to do that, and then I'd watch it rip for 150 points and be sick.
oh bro, what?
Like,
Of
you know what I mean?
course. That's happened
So
to
like,
everybody, yeah.
so it's kind
So
of like supply demand. What I learned, right, is like when you have that 5 minute low set and you got new signs of strength, this could be the mitigation now. This could be the, you know, where price starts to break down. But a lot of the times the concept of trading is buy low, sell high. So when I take a buy low, I want to give it back above daily. Because like if let's say this, hypothetically, if I went to the daily right now and we look at this and I bought at the lows, I want to give back. I know that's kind of a lot of crap. Hold on. Let's do it like this. Sorry. So if I buy at the lows, I want to give back in the highs, right? Because we're in a daily, like on our swing positions, we're trying to swing these things back up, right? 20,800, 21,000.
mhm.
So it's like we like on the Dow trade, we shorted into a daily demand, and then we bought our like we shorted on Dow, and then we found a demand candle like this, and we started buying it up. Okay, so sorry, we're getting into that area. We can chase it here. Okay, so daily open, right? And I promise you guys now. So look, do we have a new down candle in the uptrending market? So if you could squeeze the hell out of that again, right? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Dow hasn't even taken market highs yet. It's fucking way behind.
Dude, look at this thing. So okay, so because we sold here, right? TP'd in 50% of this demand candle, and now they're just shuffling the shit out of people. Right. So you got ES in the middle and Q, and we're at that 50%. So this is about it. You know, it's like either they're gonna make it to daily open or we ain't. So I'm gonna go ahead and set a TP for sure because I don't want to play around with them today. Plus I need to my dog's been going through some stuff, so I'm having to make sure she's good.
Yeah. It's
Okay, so we're floating like 5Gs right now, bro. Come on.
so yeah, that was my next point. It's only 8:50, so the equities has only been open like 20, not even 30 minutes, and Rickey's clearing like a couple months pay at some of these jobs, right? So you gotta love that.
The blessing of leverage capital, and skill, because if you apply these, lessons that you taught with opening price, the time compression matrix, all those things in a confluence, that's where if like your people that are new, like they start following those things and really apply themselves, they're going to be in the right spot. Because we think we're just getting started. Like we're doing this across the 4 accounts, on micros right now. When the account's at a specific level, right? Results aren't typical, whatever, like the whole disclaimer stuff.
Yeah,
But,
got it. I have a rolling disclaimer. It's fine.
But when we, so when we roll this thing to, to basically, back to minis across the 4 accounts, and then we add that, go to 2 minis, that's when it's going to get scary. But right now we're just being grateful for what God's, given us and, making that move. But look at ES really quick. No signs of weakness on the 5. Ever since we've seen that open, right? I didn't mark the opens, which I should have done that. Sorry. Ever since we've seen that New York open, we have seen 5-minute strength. You haven't seen one sign of weakness on a 5-minute yet since that moment. Right.
One of my folks asked, "Are these all personal accounts or funded accounts, Rickey?"
So, what I'm trading with you guys is just my Top Step funded 4 accounts, my XFAs, and then I have this same trade. My guys that are on this, my boy just said get on YM, but my guys, we all take trade locker trades, guys. Excuse me, sorry. We all take trades on CFD in the same exact spot, so I can pull up that CFD and show you exactly where we took that as well. But we do everything how you do something, how you do everything, right? So like I'm gonna play this position back up to daily open. I mean, like you gotta think that's from 800 to 9s, 100 points, and now we're talking about 150 guys on less than. We started this session at 8:30. So I've got people. So I'm not trying to show you guys to flex. I've got people that I'm mentoring and working with right now on Trade Locker that are doing the same trades I'm taking right now, but they're doing them with 10 cents. So when they risk, 20 points, they're risking $2. But when they hit a 100-point trade like we are today, they're making $20. So they can take $1,000 account, right? You talk about, the numbers. If you're risking 1% of $1,000, that's what, $10, something like that. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah,
it's too early.
So if you risk 3%, it's $30. So if you have someone that comes into this space, you don't have to have a funded account to trade. You have to have skill. Right, because I don't despise small beginnings, right? If you can't do it with what I'm telling you, 10 cents, and can set these setups the right way and let them play out, you'll never do it with the bigger numbers. So don't feel bad like that that the numbers aren't where you want to be. This is my 6th year. Like I've been doing this and since 2022. I promise you, I've been doing it a lot. And so my trailing risk is right under those 900s at this point now, guys. So we'll see.
Yeah. Someone asked, "Do you use automated across all accounts?" I'm not really sure what that means.
I copy trade across, so I copy trade the accounts. Yes, if that's what they're asking.
Yeah. So like, what that means is when he takes a trade on his one account, all the other accounts take the same trade.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much.
Yes, sir. And so that's why I said if you're singular focused and you just focus on being able to execute on one, you're fine. So guys, my trailing risk, is it in or is it out? So I'm out of futures, guys, for the day. That's it. I had moved that up to about those 900s. So we ended up securing from 97. So let's look at this really quick. We can pull this over really quick and look at the executions. So we entered inside the demand, price rallied, took out the, the area. And so now it could continue up, but for futures, I'm good on the day. And then CFD, right? There's no difference on CFD. So if you come over here to that NAS 100 price and you're taking those on Trade Locker, we have this, I don't have it marked up right here, but we have the same trade already on from 19.6. Price broke that liquidity. We trailed risk up to 19.680s. Same thing, right? Except the difference is we get to play this one a little bit longer because we don't get liquidated at, 310s. And so now we have swing trades from yesterday that are still on, right? From yesterday's 19,500. We have, I know this is kind of a lot here. Hold on, let me move some of this crap over. Okay. So I'm just going to move out of the way. So we have a lot of that stuff from yesterday. We're holding those swings. And so now what I'm wanting to see is, can they keep going today, right? If they can keep going, then I'll be able to move the remaining volume I have from those CFD trades to the low of day current. And then we'll be able to work from there. So that's about it. Like I said, for me, bro, I think that came back down and that was a pretty good move. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it's still going. So like I said, I could keep managing and keep talking about it here till like 9:15. But ES hasn't slowed down since your break of structure. So one thing I like to do for that could be good for new traders too, is I like to mark the end of the day. So if it's going to be 15 because it's going to be 15:10. But one thing you'll notice is like, dude, price can only do so much in a time frame. Like there's only so much time for them to either go lower, right, below market open, or to do what they did today. Everybody was in a profit on shorts from overnight. How is this person, if you shorted, going to make money today? They have to put a buy limit in. They have to put a buy order in, right? That's how that sell order is going to get filled. So right back to daily open, it looks like. Now, if you do the fibs as well, from that high to low, and you could use previous day high, but I like to use the actual intraday range and do it here to the side so you can see. And look, we're above that 50 already again, right? And so where they broke out about the midpoint of that, this is where most traders make the worst mistakes, is at the midpoint. All right. So this is like, I could go in on that 1 minute too and kind of show, but yeah. So let me see here really quick. I'm gonna grab some water just really quick, and then we'll see if we get this delivery by like 9:15. Is still good for you, John?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna probably shut it down now, but I'm
Okay.
willing to wait till 9:15.
Well, like here at 9, I think they're gonna deliver it here by 9:05. So, because I mean, they're pumping that thing, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, while you go do your thing, I was just gonna talk to the stream for a second. Like we said earlier, it's barely 9 o'clock. It's barely been 30 minutes into equities, right? And Rickey's done for the day. That's something that's solid. Now he can continue on whatever he's got to do for the rest of the day without having to worry about it. Money's made. Other accounts that might have a trade open, the stops are either at break even or in profit. There's no real risk on the table there. Like, what else could you ask for? And that's what it's all about, chat. Now, someone like me, I like being in front of the charts more than most people, but that doesn't mean you have to be the same way. So, because I'm actually gonna get ready to leave here in like an hour, maybe a little bit less. So I'll be leaving the house. But again, if there was one thing that you learned today, other than price action,
Bang. My bad. Bang.
nah, you're good. It's time management. There's your daily open on NQ at least. I think ES hasn't got there yet, but
About 2 points away on ES. There's news hitting the wire right now. So that's it, guys. That's it for me. So I appreciate you having me on, bro. I look forward to doing this again. It was super fun.
no, absolutely. I mean, it's even climbing into the 60s now, 70s.
Yeah, bro. Those swing trades are gone. It'll be like, if they can continue to do that, and we look at like, that 1 hour here now, and we start to see like, because people will mess up here, right, back above in the 19 or the 20,050s. But now it's like I told you my good business partner, and I call him Mr. Rax right now. He's blasting this, man. He's got the Friday buys on US 30. He's got yesterday buys. He just added on to the buys. Like when I said, hey, my friend said, get in YM right now. And so we sold last night. We bought our take profits, if that makes sense, right? We sold down. When we took profit in that demand, we bought the area to go attack the previous day high. And we had already blasted those low resistance highs yesterday. So shout out to you, Tay. I think you're on the call too, bro. So shout out to you on that. That's crazy. Because these trades, I mean, I call it those NQs, but this is crazy points.
You want to know what I'm going to do later, unless one of my students does this for me. I'm going to go back and watch the recording. I want to know exactly when I said Dow hasn't taken the highs yet. Because what I was trying to signify was like the laggard. And if it's like, okay, NQ is going to rally, ES is going to rally, Dow's going to follow suit. I want to know when I said that, because there was probably a play in there, like right around 8:45. And then Dow takes off, all three indices take off basically. So we've covered majority of that overnight move lower.
100%, bro. And all the people, it's the same thing. Remember, I keep putting in the chats, if you're short, please cover. If you're short, please cover. Because every time they do, those buy orders fill. Oh my. So guys, don't get excited, execute, and let's rock it, bro. Because I got to go to the gym or something after this one. Because we double whammied. We went crazy yesterday, but not this crazy.
No. So. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was fun. I kind of regret not streaming yesterday, but that's all right. I mean, we're able to do this all the time, then it really shouldn't matter.
Bro, I've got we'll chop it up later in this weekend stuff, and I'll show you some stuff on the back end of like, especially with TS, selling in those areas like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've got a lot of data where it, like right here where we're
20,000
is capitulation, right? When it's moving fast, people start making bad decisions, but this is where I trail risk instead of pull. I start looking for 1 minute down candles in an uptrending market. So like right now, let's say if I was still in that futures, like all the way, I would just keep marking that up, and I get that 1 minute down candle. You got a new sign of strength, right? Boom, trail your risk, and you're securing from 19.8 to 19.9 to basically 19.62s. Let's just say 19.65s. So over 165 points on the partial trail, and you don't got to do anything except sit here and talk about it. Bet I'm here.
Could you go back to the 5 minute real quick?
Mm-hmm.
So earlier, now that we have like 50 something people in here, earlier I said if that 5 minute, if we leave that open, that's going to be a breakaway. Oh shit, I can't find the annotation tool on here. It's right below 850. That imbalance, like right there. I said if we had left that open, we would be, pretty bullish. And we've been pretty bullish. That's always nice.
I thought it was really nice that they set these up with the 5 minute demand, right? Because like when they did this here and then this here on NQ, it's like, bro, at least you could at least go from here to here. You're good, like.
Oh yeah.
You don't need. What is that? 775 quarter, right? Let's say up to here. That's almost 100 points just on a 5 minute structure break.
Oh yeah.
Just on one structure break, You
don't need super like. I think I had talked about this yesterday on the live, on like my normal session. I was saying like you don't have to capture a whole daily's range.
Yeah.
Like people hardly ever do that. But that's not what you need. You just need 1 or 2 good trades a week. And after that, it's just scaling. Like you said, having one account is cool, but being able to take that trade where you got 3, 4, even 5 accounts, that's where a lot of that money is made. And there's some guys on Twitter. I know I talk a lot of shit on Twitter or about Twitter, but there's a few people on there that have like 15, 20 accounts, so they're making, even like $500 or a $600 a day on one account, but spread across 20 accounts. I mean, that's 5-figure days.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen like I told you that one time we were talking about, younger guys, 19-year-old kids, stuff like that. That's what opened my eyes. You know, he was only making, you know, $200 across 5 accounts every day. You know, that's all. He wasn't even trying to hit 2,000 or thousands or nothing. He just said, I'm going to make $200 times 5, which was, you know, 1,000. And that's his goal a day. And he takes on way less heat. So we'll talk more too about this. Like when I was running this XFA system with my minis and only being able to open up one contract one contract at one time. And the management was way harder and I wasn't making as much money. But when I switched down the micros and spread out those accounts, like I said, it'll be a whole nother call. We have to explain it, but I ended up being, I take on less heat and I make more money now. It's crazy because I actually had the ego to like drop down to those micros. But of course, we're opening like 20 micros at some time. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
but it's like you're really, when you really focus in and you're managing on one account, you're opening just 5, right? And so if you can stick to that mindset and you have management singular for like if you're just focusing on one account, you're good because your actions are going to duplicate over to the other account. And so the same thing really quick is your actions can duplicate over in a bad way too. So don't, if you're not ready, like I said, to, you know, secure one account, don't go try to add the copiers and do that because that's a waste of money. You might as well take that, you know, whatever amount of total that you have and go trade CFD potentially at a smaller volume and work on your skill and your edge. And
Dude,
like I said, that's not financial advice though.
I could only imagine somebody spending like a couple years trying to pass 5 combines back to back to back and then connecting them all and then blowing that shit in like one day.
Dude, and like here's the thing,
losing all of it.
I was that person. I'll be real with you. Like,
Oh,
so imagine you spend, you know, this is what I had to open my eyes like to the funded industry because I came into trading before that industry, right? Is the fact that if you spend $400 to $500 on the funded capital and you blow that account, imagine you could have opened up a CFD account and did 10 cents a trade and could have still been in the game. And you would have been getting your goal, which is to make money, right? So people just got to flip that, you know, now that there's CFD and there's other instruments, you can actually trade these same assets and develop your skill. Don't despise small beginnings. Go back to the 10 cents, set up the move, you know, 20-point risk, 100-point gain. See if you can execute. Once you can execute, then go get the leverage, you know, because otherwise it's going to emotionally scar you. Like imagine this, it's like you go to these 6-figure accounts and I'm just being humble when I'm saying this, but like the average person probably makes $3,000 to $4,000 a month. So it's like you take a $1,300 loss, your mental isn't ready, right? Like you open up a mini account or you open up 150K and then you do minis and your first 20-point risk, right, on a $20, you know, $20 per point basically is going to be a $400 loss, and you take another one that's 800. You know what I mean? So it's like the person isn't really ready yet, and it's like if you really just want to get I would say the result of making, you know, some capital. Since I've been helping these 2 individuals with smaller amounts, it's opened my eyes again to like, dude, you don't need a lot to make a lot, you know, like,
right.
I seen this guy swing a 300-point trade, right? His first actual live trade, right? With 30 cents, right? But 30 cents every 100 points, that was $30. 30, 60, 90, almost made $100 on this $1,000 account, was almost 10%. Like I said, that's not financial advice. It's the math.
Yeah. Well, we're not corporate here, so if you want to talk about money, you can. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, bad.
We don't have fuck compliance. We don't have anybody like that here. Fuck them.
So I would say this really quick before we hop off, because I need to go get some water. My stomach's kind of yeah. But if you guys get above those HODs, understand that like the sell side, the trader that's like just so antsy to trade, they're holding their butt cheeks with their stop loss at HOD, right? So if you can even slip it by a tick, you know what I mean? That's probably like as soon as price gives, like let's say it takes it captures, break structure, whatever people call it, right? As they give, I take, right? So if I have these ES and I basically put my risk at that breakout area, and then price goes above daily, and I put it on prior bar low to that candle that broke the daily. If it keeps going later, cool. If it comes back down to here, then bet I'm securing, you know, 92s up to, you know, almost 32s. That's almost 40 points on ES, dude. Imagine that on one mini. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's like $2,000 day.
Yep.
So, but yeah, bro, I appreciate you, man. I'm probably about to hop off and get some breakfast, and then I gotta take care of my dog the rest of the day. So
yeah, I gotta do some things as well, and it's right about 9:10 anyway. So All right, stream, that is going to be it. Appreciate you guys being here. Drop a like on the stream if you guys had some fun. If you guys appreciate Ricky, drop some ones in the chat for Ricky this morning, for waking up, hopping on, and, you know, actually taking a trade in front of you guys and being able to see his management, being able to, you know, get that experience, watch price do what it did. All right, so y'all be good, be blessed. It is Thursday, which means there's no live stream after this one, but I'll be on YouTube tomorrow, right, at our normal time, and I will put out our market review later this evening. All right, so be good, be blessed, don't do anything stupid, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.